welcome to another edition of Talking Basketball Podcast. I am Mark.
Hello, I am Paul.
And we have got a big episode today.
Big episode, Mark.
And why is it a big episode, Paul?
See, you can't function when you're turning it down either, can you?
Oh, I am. I've just brought it down.
Yeah, but your brain is not functioning as you're doing it. That's more functioning than what I was, but yeah. Anyway, we have the BBL Trophy weekend has come to its epic conclusion.
For those who haven't been listening, why haven't you been listening in previous episodes? Go back, check them out, but not after you've listened to this one. So the BBL normally has a nice league, and during the month of January, the whole league just goes on suspension, doesn't it, basically? It goes on pause, and they hold what they call the trophy, where it's basically a cup competition. 3 rounds, and then after that, you go to the semi-finals, followed by the final. And the semi-final final played on the same weekend, which has just occurred.
In Birmingham.
In Birmingham.
In Birmingham.
It's up in Birmingham.
Plunger.
Plunger in Yardley.
Anyway.
It's not in Yardley, it's in the utility.
Dudley.
In Dudley.
I'm from Dudley. That's
Dudley.
We both knew a girl. She was from Dudley.
Yes. And you married her. And
No, well, no, not that one. Not that one.
But the nice thing is that because it was held in Birmingham, the teams who were all going to it, none of them were local.
No.
So everyone had to travel there, which I think is quite nice.
We'll come on to that, Mark. I think some fans travelled, some didn't.
Some did. And
Some did, some didn't.
yes.
Anyway, before we start with the BBL Trophy, can I just say, this isn't related to the British Basketball League.
Why are you saying it?
Because I want to say a huge thank you to the Portsmouth Force, National League Portsmouth Force.
Yes.
We received a signed jersey from the whole team, which was very cool. When it first got given to me, I was like, "Oh man, this is size small. I can't wear this." and Andy Rowlands, who gave it to me, was like, "No, Paul, open it up." Open it up. I was like, okay. And then I saw it was all signed, with some messages and stuff.
When you said,
very cool.
When you said that was there, and I saw the small tag, I thought it was for our kids.
Yeah.
It's like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. But no, that was very, very nice, and
very
we are
cool.
going to be.
It's hanging up
it's
in the
hanging
studio.
Up, but we're going to make a nice little display. So we're going to.
I think we're getting a few now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
I think we should make like a shrine of our guests.
Yeah.
And
maybe
have
if they can't donate a vest, any item of clothing is possible.
Wow. Okay. Well, on that note, let's move on. Talking about the BBL, I have got an update. Do you know we had the very first episode about the BBL was, I thought BBL stand for British Basketball Podcast. Yeah. There is another one, and I only found out, I forgot to tell you about this. There's a BBL cricket league in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, and it's called the BBL, but it's a big cricket league. But it's like, I don't know anything about cricket, but it's like cricket on steroids. They have to play really fast, and they got to hit big runs all the time. They have to like try to get 4s and 6s all the time. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
But it's quite a high tempo.
Yes.
But so oddly enough, when I do my searches now, BBL, the top one that comes up is the Australian cricket, and then second is the British Basketball League, and I'm not seeing all the other stuff, which is good.
So you're missing out on the butt lifts.
No, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what that is, so who cares? Anyway, right, let's go on to the BBL Trophy, Mark, because...
So there was 4 teams back through to the semi-finals this weekend.
And arguably some of the best games we've seen all season.
Yeah. I would even go as far as to say one of the semi-finals possibly even more exciting than the final.
Not
more
definitely
exciting
for the ending.
Not more exciting, but definitely.
Actually, before we go any further.
Yes.
Any further.
Yes.
I want to send this one out to all the teams playing and to the British Basketball League for what they did this weekend. Oh man, I pressed the wrong one. That's the one I was after. That's the one. What a great weekend that was.
That was really good. It was
Irish crickets.
It was not just good to see the end of that tournament or the final stages, but it was actually really good quality basketball. and all of the atmosphere, everyone was up for it.
A lot of people from Birmingham, I think,
Yeah.
came to watch it. Well, I was quite surprised. I was kind of expecting to see one half London, one half Scotland, and like, you know what I mean, for all the important games.
You didn't have many people travelling. You didn't have many, which was quite surprising.
Some teams did, Mark. Some teams did.
But I will say, although you didn't see many travelling, it does make sense as well, because we've said it before, with certainly with any of the teams, they're all based, like in the UK, like our football teams, people support locally. So they don't often travel with a lot of their teams. They support quite local.
Yeah, but
with the
it's not that far.
But if you look at the
2.5 hours from us, we'd go, yeah, go on, we'll go watch it.
But look at a football team. People do travel for football teams, but even then the numbers are limited compared to how many people go to a home game. You're getting a 20th of the people who are going, who maybe travel at any one time. So if you think, oh, we've got 200 people go, and you go, oh yeah, that's actually a higher percentage of people travelling that are going to a game. So it's just obviously the numbers of going to basketball are like 1,500, 2,000 in a stadium for the basketball season. Whereas, so getting 150 to go, that's 10% of your crowd.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good number.
Well, Mark, let's crack on with the games.
So there was the 4 teams that went through.
So let's do first semi-final.
First semi-final, London Lions versus Caledonia Gladiators, the reigning or the current.
So this was the current top of the table taking on the current champions.
Yes.
Can I just say,
The current trophy champions.
yeah, did we talk last episode about the trophy, or was that us talking off air? Because the trophy's a metal trophy, isn't it?
That was off air.
We said,
No,
yeah,
that was off air.
Okay, so I've kind of put 2 and 2 together now.
Okay.
That I said that someone had told me that a team, whoever it was, had smashed it.
Yes.
The original one, and that's probably why it's a metal trophy.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's I mean, I watched the highlights of this game because I was busy.
well, we're doing a basketball game, Mark. But yeah, look, you got to talk about Josh Sharma.
Yeah, you do.
Season high with 19 points, shooting 88% from the field, Mark.
He's got to be their most, not just devastating, but like one of the most clutch players. But they always guarantee they're going to get.
He's just in the right play. And
He's
he's doing
always
all the dirty work. That's what I like about him.
and he gets some big plays. When
And
he
I was
doesn't.
really surprised he didn't start for the final.
I don't.
But let's hang on.
No,
I won't go to there yet.
yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, he seemed to shine. You know, Mike Bothwell, he had a pretty good game for the Gladiators.
Yeah, and what's interesting is he had quite good minutes as well. If you're looking at London through some of the seasons, some of the games that they've played and they've lost or they've struggled with, they've been resting players. It's worth mentioning this whole weekend, they've had no worries about injuries. London had they were hitting their full team. They were coming out the gate, we're going to go win this. So they weren't resting anyone. No one was on any issues. They've just signed the NBA player as well, which was David Mwamba, formerly Houston Rockets, Brooklyn Nets, Cleveland, Chicago, and I believe he was signed in the Lakers, but I don't know how much he played.
Oh yeah, so what was his name again?
David Nwamba.
Nwanda, is it?
Nwamba.
Nwamba. He was solid.
Yeah.
But he and this is what I noted, like no Matt Morgan in the semi-final.
Nope.
And that guy didn't play in the semi-final.
Nope.
So was his first game in the final?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh wow. So
But I mean, if you're going to pull someone out, pull someone out.
no, well, I mean that was look, let's get on to the final in a minute. But yeah, I mean, I wonder what happened to Matt Morgan. I mean, don't forget, you got to hand it to the Lions. They won in Europe.
Well, Matt Morgan did play against.
Oh, sorry, he did play.
Yeah, he did play against Caledonia. Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at C Morgan and thought, oh, Matt's not there. Anyway,
yeah, that's tricky. If you've got 2 shirts that have Morgan on the back, do you have the .C. Morgan?
I don't.
Morgan?
No, I don't think they do.
No, what would you do? I'm asking because I've seen it a few times where you have players who have the same
I
surname.
just have the name. I know what my number is.
Yeah, that's what I was
Well,
thinking.
that's what me and my brother used to do, didn't we?
But that's what I'm saying because you guys did it. You didn't have
just had our
a
name.
P and an A, did
No.
you? But some players do that, don't they? They always want to put their little thing on it, on this number.
I feel I buggered up there by saying he didn't play, and he did. I can clearly see him now. But again, look, Josh Sharma didn't play. But what I was just trying, the point I was trying to make, sorry, he didn't start, is what I meant to say with Josh Sharma. Where was I going with this? I've just gone absolutely blank.
You were just saying, we were saying about the names, but before that, you were just saying about.
You just go down little rabbit holes, and then I just think, I have no idea what I was talking about.
We were just saying about where you said about Matt Morgan not starting. Said he did start. You flipped out,
sorry, that was the point I was going to make. Don't forget, they're heavy in Europe as well.
Heavy.
And I just wonder if, I mean, their squad is deep. Their squad is deep.
Their squad is deep. There's a lot of their squad are either ex-NBA or ex-college who either got drafted but then got sent out after a draft, or G League players.
Yeah.
So they got a heavy and a deep.
What I liked about Josh Sharma is, look, he's coming off the bench and giving you 19 points.
Yeah.
88% from the free throw. I think he's a great player. Only 4 rebounds. But, you know, Matt Morgan, just looking at his, only 12 points, but he only played 24 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to work out, it doesn't look like the normal London standard.
No.
I wondered if could they be burnt out?
No. Well, I think they might be. I think they might be burnt out. They might be burnt out, but I will also, maybe being a bit harsh here, but I think they were up against Caledonia. They knew they were going to beat Caledonia. And
only a fool would think that, Mark.
I totally agree, but I think they had that confidence going, we've got a deep team. Whereas Caledonia are going to have to come straight out, and they're going to have to use Whelan and everyone straight from the go. I'm just thinking, like, in terms of their centre, I've forgotten his name. It's Aliodzik, I think it is. And
for the Gladiators.
And more junior. Like, those guys, they are solid. They're solid players. And even though they put in the time, I'm not saying they don't get the points, but they are one of those people that you go, you can't back off of them, because they'll just create something, and then suddenly you go, oh, there's 6 points. Where's that come from? And when we actually look at the game, that first game, Caledonia led. And Caledonia led the first quarter. And then they led the second quarter. What happened? You got tied. And then London put their foot down and took over.
That's the one thing. And look, this is a point that I'm going to come back to. London are always, we've been saying this for like 6 weeks now, London are so strong in the fourth quarter. Like, in all the games, they might be down. They really go strong in the fourth.
But if you think you're Caledonia, you get to the end of the end of the first half.
At the end of the third, and you're tied.
Yeah. Well, no, the end of the second, and you're 8 points ahead.
So
they were 8 points ahead, and they're thinking, we've gone half time, 8 points ahead against London. They're like, hang on, we've got a chance here.
But 8 points is nothing against
London. And then suddenly it's, hang on, where's this 8 points gone? And now we're drawn.
Yeah.
And then they lose by 10.
Yeah.
So that's, for London to do that, it shows you the depth they've got. And they just put their foot down and went, hang on a minute, we've lost here. And they were a 9-point deficit first quarter. Then it was 8 point. They're clawing it each time. Claw it. But it was their, put my teeth in. It was their Q3. That was huge.
Yeah.
Big moves.
Olaseni is quality.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the Gladiators, because I feel like they've had a strange championship, because they were doing at the beginning. I was thinking, these guys they're fighting with London here, and then they just dropped.
But again,
and then came back
London
up. They lost a few players.
Strong at the end.
Yeah,
they're always strong.
Caledonia have had a few people who've drafted out as well, and they've lost a couple of big guys that you think.
Yeah, but look, Gabe Olaseni, he ends the game with 18 points, 15 rebounds, Mark.
15 is a nice number. And some nice free throws going on as well. I will say that.
Oh, dear. I love shouting.
I love a free throw.
You do love a free
I
throw.
do love a free
and
throw.
I feel you're out of order. When you say they just missed a free throw, that's a disgrace. I'm just like,
Hey,
you go shoot a free throw.
all right, I've got any of you players who've heard me call you out, I'm going to make you feel a little bit better right now. I watched something today about Kobe. And Kobe missed his first shot, and then he went and scored the second one. And you go, arguably one of the most talented basketball players to have ever played. And he missed quite a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
So
well,
there we go.
I think there's lots going on. I think you got the whole psychology aspect, physicality, tiredness, mental fatigue. You add it all up, and
It's
then
an
you say
uncontested shot.
You have to score this shot.
Yeah.
And also, look, if you could shoot a free throw, and now I put a gun to your head.
Or a
gun to
you
someone
don't have to
else's
do
head.
You literally have to just give me the ball and say, do a layup, playing horse, and I'm going to brick
But
it.
you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as something comes in it,
Oh, yeah.
it's, But
It's just you make it tasty.
Hey, London, great victory for them. And they moved fairly confidently on to the final.
They did. And this then brings us to the second game.
The greatest game ever played!
Oh, God, it was good. That was a game. Now,
I almost said something I shouldn't say, Dave.
we had a thing where we were saying you were back in Cheshire, and you said you thought the Phenix looked tasty. I had a gut that Teddy was going to take me through with Leicester.
Yeah, but do you know why I said Cheshire? And I'll say the same thing. They lost last year. And for me, that was going to go one or two ways. They lost last year, and they're just not going to do much at all. If they get to the Final Four, my gut was they're going to do something because, when you lose something, when you're in touching distance, like we're talking 2 minutes left in the game, they were up by 5 and they lose. It's like that's going to stick in your head for weeks afterwards. And, it was LaQuincy Rideau, like, for me, he was the pinnacle of everything about that. You could see, and even in the interviews, they were saying afterwards, last year we were thinking about it, and it's like, of course you are. So that's why I had them. But you gotta say, maybe they got a little lucky in the semi-final. I want to say they didn't, and they did get lucky at the same time. The only reason I say that because I haven't got it in front of me, but what were they up by? In the semi-final, they're up by what? 14 in the third or the fourth, something like that. No,
Yes.
it's the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
5 minutes left, they're up by 14 or 12.
Yep.
And it was like,
Game's
game's over.
It was Leicester came out at the start, and then it went straight over to Cheshire. Cheshire were up by 12, and then the next bit, Cheshire were up by 14, 13-14 at the end of the third quarter. So going into the fourth, they were up by 13-14, and you go, oh,
I want to say it was like 5-6 minutes left.
Yeah,
It was still
it's
like that.
still date like that. And then,
But the Riders, you got to hand it to them. They just grinded it out. And we have to talk about the last 30 seconds. Captain of the Leicester Riders, Kimball Mackenzie. What a play.
yeah,
That is clutch.
yeah, that's so that when I'm saying about free throws, it's having to be, if you've got that inside you to be able to do a move like he did there.
But he goes up, drives in, takes the guy on. I had to watch it a few times and go, was that definitely a foul?
Yeah,
Because
no.
it would really bug me
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it was. I had to double, and I was looking at it, going back. Can I just say the
Yeah.
coverage on Sky Sports Arena?
Yep.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was good.
See,
That was good.
I went
That's
the
what they
YouTube
should be
option.
doing for every bloody game.
Yeah. There was definitely, I think that's worth saying, there was definitely a difference in the coverage.
Than watching on YouTube. Because on YouTube, Kimball Mackenzie would drive in, go to the hole, it's like, advert. Now we're going to talk about this for 20 seconds. And then the game's over. It's like,
Yeah.
brilliant. But no, I love the coverage of Sky Sports, and I can only pray to the basketball gods that they do one game every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That would be great.
So I think
Or whatever days it is.
I tell you one
What
thing.
is it? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is normally the games. My theory is because the games are all in that one place, all of the media places used the decent camera feeds and they had them set up properly. The lighting's really good. It's a really nice looking arena. And they just had a good visual. They made sure it was a good visual. So you got some really good camera work. Sometimes and it's not knocking the teams, but we've said it before, the teams that only have one set of bleachers, you're looking at a wall most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's, as a visual, it's not that great.
Yeah. But I do have one criticism, Sky.
Yeah.
And it's nothing that they would be aware of, I don't think. It's only if you watch the NBA like we do that we're tuned into it.
Yeah.
So as an example, sometimes you can tune into the arena feed, can't you?
Yes.
So you get a sense of the atmosphere going on there, and they cut back to it, but you couldn't hear what was going in the arena, and that was my only thing. I mean, look, I'm really being picky here, but I was like, oh, it'd be great if you could pick up. But look, huge shout out to Birmingham.
Was that
whatever they set up there?
Good on the new telly?
Brilliant.
You got a new telly the other day, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I've got a new TV, Mark.
But was it good on that?
Yeah, bloody 65-inch
But
OLED.
that's what she said. But the reason I'm saying it is because you got the sound and everything with it. That's why you would like to have that.
I had
been sat in there.
The surround sound on. Within 2 seconds, kids were there watching the basketball.
Yeah.
We were. It was great to watch. I wasn't really bothered who won. But I was just watching it for a neutral. But what a game! But again, going back, Kimball McKenzie, that play, creating the contact.
Yes.
And it goes in. It's like, oh, and then he goes to the line. It's like, wow, they're now up by one. And
I thought that was it. I thought I've actually pipped him here. I genuinely thought, yeah, I've got the Riders. Teddy's put his 20 points in. He's done well. Everyone on the Riders team contributed. I think.
Yeah, you look at the stats. Look at like
all bar one person got on the score sheet. That every single person was pushing him.
Yeah, and Thomas as well. Look, you know, he got a double.
Yeah.
Which is always
and
good to see. You don't see it that often in the BBL, if I'm honest.
You don't. But what I also want to bring you to, because I know you like them, is when you're looking at things like assists. And there's quite a lot of assists with the Riders in comparison, say Cheshire. The assists were a little bit higher. At first, for the main players, there's more assists for Cheshire, but that's basically one person who's doing a lot of it. If you take them out, the rest of the team aren't doing a lot.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Whereas when you look at it across the Riders, you go, actually, a lot of them, it's clear. And I think that showed, because in the game, Cheshire, it's fair to say you had Aaron Rye, Skylar White, and of course LaQuincy. And between those three, that's their like triple threat, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
And then they have everyone else coming in, but those three guys are so central.
Sorry, who did you say?
LaQuincy would do.
Yeah.
Aaron Rye.
Yeah. He was quality.
Aaron Rye.
He was really
and
good.
And Skylar White.
So LaQuincy Rideau and Aaron Rye.
So Aaron,
getting the double.
And we've mentioned Aaron before, because and then they mentioned it in the interviews afterwards how he was a Div 1 player in the UK's NBL, and he stepped up. And a lot of them, I think I didn't.
He's doing all right.
Well, I thought it was interesting because they were like, "How do you find it with the step up?" And he's like, "Yeah, like this was my progression. This is my natural progression." But I thought it was funny because they seemed shocked that he was saying, "This is my natural progression." You go, well, you can see, like he was only in Div 1 last year. Well, he's now becoming first or second highest scorer on a team consistently throughout the year. So,
but look,
fair play to him.
I got to talk about arguably one of my new favourite players. He's top three. He's top three
Really?
in the British Basketball League now. LaQuincy Rideau.
Yeah, what a
That
player.
move at the end leg work looked a little odd. When he drove in, he got the foul, but I rewound it back and was like, is that a travel? And I just want to double check. Is he traveled? And it was like 0, 1.
It was
and
like
I
a
thought
Euro step, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely didn't travel, I don't think. And
The hand didn't go around the ball in that way.
but it looked, the footwork looked odd.
Yeah.
But look, it goes in. You would have been screaming at him, Mark, because he missed the free throw. But look, he did enough. He did enough.
I know, but even in those circumstances, like you're saying about pressure and stuff, you're at that point, you're down one. You do that, and then you get the free throw and you miss it. It's like,
yeah.
oh, dude.
But hey, look, it was great.
No, I know.
For the neutral, what an exciting game. What an exciting finish. And I thought, oh, this is over. And then they're coming back, and they came back real quick. And it was like, that is one of the most exciting finishes we've had in British basketball.
Oh, 100%.
This season.
And what's nice, and I think this is quite interesting, is when was the last time you saw another really, really exciting highlight like that? Last year, in last year's trophy, when Caledonia got the last-minute buzzer beater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And isn't that interesting that the trophy has pulled out some of these, death or glory moves, so to speak, because everyone's really, really fighting for it.
I do have one comment about the Cheshire Phenix, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Their kit.
No, it's growing on me.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's growing on me.
Which one? The white kit or the dark kit?
The white one I quite like with the different colour stripes down the side. That's right.
I'm the other way. The dark one I can get on with. The white one, I think the Phenix bit gets washed out in this middle bit.
Like look, it's all right. It's all right. But that's not my negative.
Riders have the better kit. But what's the negative?
Well, my negative is...
Did you run out of sweets when you're watching it?
Look, I'm going to talk about Skylar White because I'm not a huge fan of just jacking up threes.
No.
I'm not a huge fan of that. And his 3 points was 6. He was 6 for 17 from 3-point range.
Yeah.
But he scored 23 points, and without him, they don't win the game. It's just personally, I don't enjoy watching people jack up threes. If they go in, it looks great. It's not. I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to come back to this comment, this discussion for the final because it's relevant for them.
Yes.
So Cheshire get that clutch win. Got to feel sorry for the Riders. They just missed out. And I'm going to make a prediction now, Mark.
Yep.
Leicester going to go far next year. Or they're not. They're going to go far or fall flat on their face.
Well, I just
It's
want
going
to
to be
highlight
that same
something
thing with Cheshire, like I just
from that
this
game.
year.
So LaQuincy, 15 points. Aaron Rye, 27 points. Skylar White, 23 points. Okay. And the rest of the bench, they make up like 23 points or something like that. Yeah. When you look at Leicester Riders, Kimball McKenzie, 13 points. Thomas, 13 points. Teddy Buckets, 20 points. Walker, 12 points. Holmes, 13 points. Shelton, 10 points. Like, everyone's chucking something in. And they're all... It's not just down
Don't
to
forget
three...
Mern Thomas, Mark, with 13 points, 12 rebounds.
I can't. I didn't mean to. So sorry, man. But the point is, if you're looking at those players, you think, that's a whole team playing together there.
Yeah.
That's not just... There's 3 big players. What would happen to Cheshire at that point if Aaron Wright got injured? We don't want anyone being injured. No one wants that. But that will devastate the offense on that team.
But looking at numbers, Cheshire out rebounded. Cheshire out assisted them. Cheshire more out stealed them. Blocks, I think Riders got them on that one.
Well, they did, but Leicester, remember, were up by 4 points at the end of the first half. End of the first quarter, sorry. So Leicester took the first shot, and you think, okay. And then just Cheshire took it from there and just put the foot down.
Well,
Good
what
for
a
them.
game. What a game.
So that led us on. That was the Saturday. Now, at that point on a Saturday, if you were a Cheshire's fan or you were a London fan, you should be getting on the internet, booking a ticket, getting in a car.
You should be getting down there.
Getting up to Birmingham, get your butt to Brum for the Sunday. So the next day, so again, all these games were played on the Saturday. The next day, they're playing the finals.
Yeah.
And bear in mind that they were tough games that they've all just played.
What a final.
And then they played a final, and that final was just, as I say, I thought that Leicester and Cheshire game was spectacular because it was just right on the wire.
Can I say?
But the final was fantastic.
I do like the new London kit.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I prefer the bit to the when they had the graffiti because it looked too much like the Brooklyn kit. I do think some of the kits where they are trying to do something different, or you've taken a nod, like Bristol Flyers taking a nod from the Miami kit. Take a nod, but do your own thing. I get it.
Yeah. But you know what made me laugh from the start, really made me laugh, was head coach Ben Thomas. He looked nervous as hell. He was just standing there. He just looked like he did not enjoy that until even afterwards. It was like, what just happened? But he looked really nervous, and I felt for him. Also, the support from the Cheshire Phenix. Got to have huge shout out to those guys. In particular, I really enjoyed. There's one maybe I shouldn't say old. One lady who was getting very emotional, very stressed out.
Yes, in the crowd.
It was like it was in the first quarter, and they were having free throws, and she couldn't look. And I was like, man, if you're not looking in free throws in the first quarter, you got a long day.
That's a long day. But they all came down, and they all wore the colours.
All had the orange T-shirt on. All representing. Brilliant. Absolute great support. The only thing, and even the head coach, Ben Thomas, said this at the end of the game. Where was the London support? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He goes, where's the London fans?
Yeah.
And I was really surprised by that. Because it was like...
So what I thought was really funny is, what colour kit were London wearing?
For the final?
Yeah.
Orange.
Exactly. And what were all the Cheshire fans wearing?
Oh, yeah.
Because London were wearing orange and Cheshire were wearing the black kit. And it was...
Yeah.
It's just funny because when you look at it, you go...
you couldn't help notice as well that the actual court looked very... had strong similarities to London's home court, didn't it?
Yep. I don't know if that... I mean, I don't know Birmingham... I don't know if you've been there, but I don't know that court, if it's a perma court or if it's a...
No, that court was laid down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's travelled from...
100% court. That court is split up into bits, and I don't know.
If
I'm going to get someone on who
I was going to say, if
court.
you're a court specialist, give us a ring.
He's coming on. He actually did that court. He helped build that court. So, and it's really interesting. It's like little small, no, I don't want to say little small, but squares, and it takes like 4 people sometimes to push them together and then put them all together, and there you go. But you know what? Just talking about spectators as well. There was one moment, I don't know if you remember this, and it might have been the head coach's little kid. I'm not sure. It was fairly near the Cheshire team. And it's where they did this huge move, and the mum was holding this like little baby cheering, and you just had this like little tiny baby like, ah! Oh dear, that was really funny.
Well,
but look,
I will say
this was neck and neck, wasn't it?
It was neck and neck, and yeah, we'll finish that off afterwards. But
this was neck and neck all the way through, and you know what?
Cheshire out the gate. First off, Cheshire came straight out the gate. They were up on the first quarter.
Yeah, and these are the points.
By 3 points.
Yeah, but these are the points that I made. LaQuincy Rideau, and this is why he's now cemented himself in my favourite top 3 current BBL players, is because he played that game with a chip on his shoulder. He was basically turning out. He was talking crap from the start to London. He was like, look, we lost this last year. I am not losing it this year. And you could see he was like that from the start. He was going up to him. He was putting pressure. And there were some players for London who didn't like it. You could see, I mean, there's a few handbags at certain points. But LaQuincy, he was just up for it from the go. That is my kind of player who I like to watch.
And...
he wasn't pushing people around, going, look, if you want to get into it, we'll get into it.
Yep.
He was great from the start.
So I want to highlight another thing that Cheshire did throughout the quarters. So first quarter, Cheshire were up 30 to 27, Cheshire were up. Second quarter, London pulled it back 49-45. London took it up. Third quarter, Cheshire brought it back again 61-67 to Cheshire, so they took the lead by 6 points. And then obviously fourth quarter, 98-82 to Cheshire.
But London were ahead.
London were ahead in the second quarter. At the end of the second quarter, at the end of the first half.
In the fourth, like at one point in the fourth, like
yes, yeah.
I remember us because like there was a few of us there, and I went, London are coming back. They are amazing in the fourth. Check out what's about to hunt. London are going to come back, and this is going to be a nothing game again. There's nothing in it.
Yeah.
And I went to go and get a drink from the fridge,
A beverage.
and I came back, and London were winning by like 6 or
So
something.
would
I was
you
like, what?
So
I missed it.
you obviously have not trained your children well enough to say, "Get me a beer," and trust that they will get you the correct beer.
Well, look, I was away.
Disgraceful.
I missed like a minute and a half or 2 minutes. I think I came back.
They went on
and
a
it
little
was 8:26, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it was like a 10, 11. It was like 10 points one way, then 11 points the other way, or something swing. But I want to highlight something that you said about players. Matt Morgan, Josh Sharma. Just have a little look at what they did in that final, points-wise. Look how many minutes they both did, and look at what points they put in.
Yeah. I mean, like, but you know, Josh Sharma came off the bench.
Yeah,
He came off the
Came
bench.
off the bench.
He didn't start.
But
Obviously
2 points.
Matt Morgan, yeah, he had a bad day. But you know,
Matt Morgan's on for almost 21 minutes.
but you got to talk about the defense, the pressure.
That's what I was going to say.
You know, you're talking about arguably a player who might get Defensive Player of the Year
Yes.
playing against him.
Yep.
So he was, well,
The
I don't want to say
defence-
he struggled, but he
No, they
just
did.
had an off day, didn't he?
No, I think they struggled. I think they struggled. Even if you have an off day, 4 points, that is low for him. 4 points, maybe getting 9 or 10 points is maybe an off day. 4 points. Same with Josh Sharma, 2 points. That they throttled these guys. They were going, these are the people who are going to cause us problems.
It didn't even feel like they missed in the first half.
No.
But
No,
can
not
I
at all.
can I make a point? And I don't know, this was just something I felt, and it was really interesting that the commentators, I was thinking it, and then one of the commentators made it in like made a comment, like half mentioned it, which was Cheshire were up by 1 point by like 2 points, 4 points. And in my mind, I was like, it was like they were losing by 10. And I don't know why. It was a really weird vibe. It was like they're winning by 4, maybe 6 at one point. I think it went up quite early.
Yep.
But the feeling and the sense you had, it was like, no, you're losing.
Yeah, 100%.
It was almost like they had to be up by 20 to go, oh, yeah, you're now in the lead. It was a bizarre feeling. And I felt it all the way through the game, that they had to have such a significant lead because London are coming. The juggernaut is coming.
Yeah.
Goliath is coming for you.
You know when you watch a football game and someone scores really early on and then the other team almost go into like a lockdown mode and they're like, we're just going to basically just stop
Part
you.
of the bus.
Yeah, just not let you do anything now. And, you know, in something like a football, you can do that a lot better than basketball. It's very difficult to stop someone ever scoring, but you can slow them down. And it just looked like they didn't let London get that
Say
momentum.
that to Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Mark. They can stop people scoring.
Yeah,
Remember,
look, David,
Dream Team.
you said about David Nwamba. That was his game, and he came out and he's got, 18 points. You got to give him credit for that. He came out and he turned up.
So I did have a thought about this as well, and it was one thing I was a little disappointed on.
New player coming straight in at a final.
Well, no, it was when he slipped up. I want to say that was right at the end of the second quarter, maybe. I think it was second
first
quarter.
half. First
But
half.
they were saying, I mean, it was an injury, and I'm like, he's not injured. He just slipped up.
Yeah.
If you watch it back, there's a slight slip on that. And the only thing I could think of, that there was a free throw before, whoever was standing in that, because I think whoever shot the free throw for Cheshire missed, and whoever was standing around there must have sweat.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like, man, that's whoever's doing the mop. You should keep an eye on that, because that's one moment you've missed, or one little small bit of sweat or whatever.
Yeah.
You've missed it. You could have got injured there.
Yeah.
That was just that.
So
Go back and look, and you see he slips.
So one of the people who was showing some of the highlights, I can't remember if it was Zania, I can't remember who it was. but they actually mentioned the fact that London fielded a full squad. Like no one's rocking injuries. No, they can't use that as an excuse for, oh, we lost in the final because ... But there's no excuse. They got beat. They got
Assini. I mean,
they got
he
beaten.
Didn't have
they were
a
beaten.
game like he did in the semi-final.
No, they
so
locked
the new
them
guy,
out and they
David
beat them.
Mwamba, 18 points.
Yeah.
7 rebounds. I wouldn't want to mess with him. I wouldn't want to
No,
mess with him.
No, he looks handy. He looks
is
super
a
handy.
strong guy.
Yeah, he looks
is
super
a strong
handy.
guy.
But
however, I did have to laugh out loud when London made their first substitutions. And I think it was Josh Sharma comes into the game.
Yeah.
Captain, who's captain? Captain's Jordan Taylor comes into the game. I think it was Conor Morgan as well. There was someone else, but 4 guys came into the game and it was like, man, that is your first subs off the bench.
Yeah, it's like switcheroo.
It was like, wow. And we had a little discussion off air a while ago remember about Newcastle and they had all that big change and it just took a while to gel. I wonder if the injection of a new player or a few new players has contributed to that. I don't know.
Well, I think it has, because look at Leicester. Leicester were mid-table warriors, okay? Teddy Buckets has come in, and all of a sudden the dynamic in Leicester has just suddenly changed again. And then you've got Mackenzie, the Quincy Rideau, everyone in the Riders team, they changed, yeah? When they're all playing, obviously not like Quincy because he's from Cheshire, but I'm just talking about the Riders team. They changed their dynamic from being, was it 7th or 6th in the league?
Yeah, they went up quite quick, didn't they?
And they just suddenly became like,
contender.
Yeah, because they found Teddy and that just linked with everyone else. I think it was, you said Kimball McKenzie, wasn't it, who came out with that great move at the end. They were trying to take those plays, but they missed that piece. They found the piece. Could David Mwambe be that piece? Maybe. But at the same time, what about the pieces like Matt Morgan that people have been saying, is he going to be player of the year and stuff like that? Well, if you're in a final and you're getting 4 points, no, you're not.
Yeah.
The end. That's it. And it's no disrespect.
A lot of spread on these minutes for London as well.
Yeah,
just looking at.
that's what. Yeah. And it's not rude to any of the players because they are all quality players. They're all.
No, I know you normally get a player or two who got 1 or 2 minutes, and then others that got 4 or 5. Like here, you've got.
Do you remember
you've
when
got 11 players that are over? No, it's 10 players that are all over 12 minutes.
Everyone's chipping in. Everyone's getting court time. Everyone's getting hands on the ball. Everyone's got good utilization. And remember when we did the episode where we were going to play the friendly, and I said, ask Kobe how many friendlies he's ever played in his life.
There's no such thing.
There's no such friendly as friendly. The same way as that. Oh, MJ, you got a cold. Never mind. Oh, you got so and so's got a flu. Oh, that's it. Shaq's broken his toe. Doesn't matter. Like these guys, I'm sure they're doing brilliant things in Europe, and got to give London Lions credit. They're doing some great stuff in Europe, and they're playing really, really well against some of those teams. Doesn't matter. This is a trophy.
But look, even though Cheshire won,
they
won the game.
Yeah, it wasn't London lost it.
They can only play who turns up. The defense was quality. London's shooting definitely in the first half was quality.
Yes,
but the Quincy Rideau, 26 points. 10 rebounds, Mark!
And Skylar White. So Skylar White.
Well, you say Skylar White, and now I'm going to go back to my point.
I was going to say.
So he hit his first 3.
Yeah.
I think. No, maybe he didn't. I can't. And look, anyway, generally when I'm watching the game, I will be looking at players, and in my head, I've got a rolling count of
how many?
1 for 1, 1 for 2, 0 for 4, like that. So I did that for Skylar White because he missed his first. When I started doing it, I was like, oh, 0 for 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 3. And when it's 0 for 3, in my mind, I'm like, the whole mindset of, okay, if you're 0 for 3 as a player, are you still pulling up? Are you now thinking, maybe it might not be my day? Anyway, I got to him, he was 0 for 6. I think he was 1 for 7. Wow. Now I look at the stats, 4 for 11. Yeah. So maybe when I counted, it just happened that I just focused when he was throwing up. I think there's 2 air balls. But I'm not saying he had a bad game because he clearly made a contribution for them to win.
But
I'm just not a fan of just.
So that's Moneyball tactics, isn't it?
They were quick threes as well. So get the
Yeah.
ball, and it was like really good. He got the ball really quick three. I was just not a huge fan of that myself. But
And there was a couple of there was actually I think towards the end of the fourth quarter, I want to say there was a couple of threes that went up from London. I thought you're forcing that quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I think they were just trying to, oh, can we get back into the game sort of thing, which is fine. But they were just really awful forced shots. And you thought, oh no, that's like someone suddenly screaming shot clock and someone just jacking something up. They really were.
But
yeah, he is playing Moneyball there by just literally, I'm playing the odds. If I hit 4 threes, well, there you go. It's 12 points. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm
but
not
he's
a fan of.
He's not bothered about the stat of how many I've
Yeah,
thrown
he's
up.
definitely not bothered.
No.
I mean, I remember coaching a couple of games, and there was one guy, and in my head, he was 0 for 9, and he hit his 10th three, and everyone was like, "Yeah!" And I was like, "He's 1 for 10." And we're celebrating like that. He's 1 for 1. Anyway, but look, I want to talk about RNY because what a contribution he made to Cheshire this weekend. He just seemed, him and the Quincy just seemed to be
Like they're the commanders
one,
on the team.
Like, and he was, for a big guy, he was bringing the ball up quite a bit, which is quite good. I loved his steal at the end in the fourth quarter. When, you know what, I couldn't help think. When
I didn't know he was going to jam it. I didn't know he was going to jam it.
Well, when he stole that ball, it was like, and he dunked it. I'm turning around to my boys going, whoa, have they won? This means they're going to win. But there's still like 20 seconds on the clock. And that just shows how much respect people got for London. That it's like, you're down by, I think it might have been 18 at the time. And there's 30 seconds left. And we're like, are they going to come back? It was like that. Again, the whole mentality of they were up by 6 and 8. And you were like, it felt like they were down. Yeah, I think there was, who was it? I think it was Luke Nelson did a really great drive at the end, which made it that Cheshire won by 16.
Yes.
I wanted to feel like he looked quite frustrated. I love to see that players frustrated.
Yeah, I mean,
because
shows you it means something.
He was working hard. I really enjoyed that. But
that is probably the best basketball I've seen on this soil in decades. And I will actually say,
wow,
I enjoyed watching that more than when we went to the O2 and watched that NBA game.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere was there. When the NBA come over, there wasn't much atmosphere, wasn't it? It was just like the British crowd are like, let's go Celtics. And it's really just feels deflated.
Yeah,
but
that was
yeah.
everyone was up for it. And so let's get controversial for a second. What do you think?
Hang on. We got to finish. The Cheshire Phenix, this year's BBL Trophy 2024 champions.
And they are. It was
2024
Yep.
champions.
I double, triple check that.
I like the trophy. I like the celebrations. I like all the interviews afterwards. I like the fact that they got a chair and then they got into the crowd and they were doing woo-way with the trophy. That was great. The only thing I
did have a criticism of the trophy when I first saw it.
Oh, okay.
I
thought you were going to say the MVP one. Because that was my comment. I was like, is that glass or is that an actual basketball?
Yes, yeah.
He didn't bounce it, which made me think, I wonder if that's like resin or something that...
I think it's a basketball.
But he didn't bounce it, Mark. That's the thing.
I don't know. Either way, I didn't really like that.
Get him on LaQuincy on the show.
Yeah, LaQuincy or anyone who knows him.
We could say...
We'd love to have a chat.
Have you bounced that basketball? Would you score on the hoop and go, that's only ever getting scored, that MVP on the hoops?
Honestly, I think the trophies are somewhere where they could do, but I still really liked that.
The glass one?
The in-season tournament trophy from the NBA when they did that one, the one the Lakers won. Where you looked at it and it was a ball, and as you turned to the side, it looked more 3D. But it just looked like a kind of World Cup, like an actual statuette.
Yeah.
That trophy that they've done looks kind of like the not the novelty ones you get as a like little, not like one of those, but the way they've took a couple of picture angles.
It was all right.
What it reminds me of is like not the Ashes or the Wimbledon one, but like something that was very English. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I quite liked it.
It's quite reserved. Like I want to see a trophy like this is a trophy that we're going to put a gallon of beer in it and swill it. Like that looks like a very delicate kind of trophy.
Did you notice?
Although they did drop the lid.
Captain Jack, you dropped that lid.
Yeah, they've cut that out of every single clip, haven't they?
Yeah,
of him dropping
you
that.
saw it when he did. You can see he was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
let's put that on."
I wonder if that's got a dent on it.
For the rest of the time, he was like holding it on.
Yeah, he had his finger over the top when he was just doing it, rocking the baby.
It was great. It was great. Yeah. That's the only thing was the MVP trophy. I was like, I was just curious. Is that a proper basketball? You looked it up.
No. I'm just trying to.
If you're talking about MVP trophies, going way off topic here, you will not like the new NBA MVP trophy.
Oh, yeah, no, I've seen.
So
it.
the old one is classic.
Rubbish.
The classic one is from like your
it's a person, isn't it? Running
from your torso almost to your head. It is classic.
Yeah.
It is definitely an upgrade, massive upgrade from the old one, which was like a big, I don't know, block with a ball on it.
Yeah, that's rubbish.
So, but that was, I think, the MVP trophy in the NBA was, I think, possibly my favourite trophy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got rid of it for this Jordan thing. Oh, it just looks awful.
Oh,
anyway, I think that's a topic for another show.
That is. I want to finish on one other.
Not controversial.
No, not controversial. It's another. Congratulations. Because the other team and the other game that was playing in the morning of Saturday.
Oh, the women's London Lions.
Was the London Lions women's versus Essex Rebels. And congratulations to the London Lions women's team.
Congratulations to Faye.
83,
I
67.
saw you had a middle one.
Yeah, they absolutely, and that was. Do you know what? It's going to sound really silly, but when it sounds silly even me thinking of it, saying it. When you see the celebration, they got the timing right through all the explosions and stuff. And
Mark, this is the British Basketball League.
No, on the women's one, they did it, and it looked brilliant. On the men's one, they got a delay wrong by like 2 seconds between a thing, and it didn't come in. The cannons didn't come in. So the women's celebration thing in the pictures looks awesome because the flames and the thing came across.
Or maybe it was just a bit far away.
I don't know. But that was a really good game. That was really, really good game. A lot of good passing, and I was quite surprised because I don't know anything about the Women's League. I don't watch it. But really good standard of basketball. So again, something we'd love to talk to more people who are playing in those leagues. Because they're getting massive crowds and obviously playing places like the Copper Box and up in Essex. So there's more and more teams every season apparently coming into both these leagues. So I think it's going to be, I think that weekend has set a bar now for the BBL. And my only worry, and this is my only worry, is they're going to have this All-Star weekend, aren't they? And is it March or April? I can't remember which one it is. I want to say it's March, but it might be April.
No, it's March. It's March.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's March.
End of March sort of time or something.
I think that'll be great. I really hope people like LaQuincy Rideau, who is going up against some of those London players, I hope they take that passion into the All-Star game. Right? Let's not have an NBA.
No.
Guys, we're all mates here.
No,
we all play.
That's my concern.
Let's go north and south.
They have set a bar now for this, and you've watched these guys play, and they've all come out and they've played hard. And you go, an All-Star game, you want all of you playing hard, all against each other.
Yeah. It's
that's what we want to see.
When it turns into a show, it's like,
we don't need that.
Let's get the Harlem Globetrotters out there.
No.
But yeah, look, Mark, I've got to say, just got to highlight London Lion, Faye and Dean, from Portsmouth. And, she got on, she's got a trophy, she's got points. I love to see that.
Yeah, that's
you know,
nice.
If anyone who's seen Faye play, you know, all credit to her that she's in playing for the women's BBL, because you know she was just from when she was young, you just could see her. She was just strong, quick, passionate, strong, really strong driving. So yeah, it's great to see her getting some time in the final, and it was great to see her getting the medal. So yeah, glad you brought that up.
Yeah, really good. But I just think it was for the BBL, you know, congratulations, because just like the NBA when they did their in-season sort of tournament, and whether people praised it or not, it was a success. This 100%, this trophy format was a success. My only question for next year, and I think you might agree with me when I say this, I would kind of like to see a wild card with
like multi-ball.
No, like some of the other divisions from the NBL.
Oh, sorry, you're not talking about changing the game.
Nope.
Okay.
No, not turning it into handball.
Would you consider it multi-ball?
Yeah, they're allowed to throw baseballs out.
Yeah, I love the fact that
I would love to see someone
last year Derby.
Yeah, I was
got
going to say
the semi-final. You know, Kestrel, the Solent Kestrels with that great run. I want to say, maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago.
I like the fact it can create chaos, because people say, well, these are unknowns now. So all of a sudden you look at someone who's playing down in Worthing, or someone in Derby or Kestrels or Bristol or Wales.
Aaron Ray.
Yeah, and
he shows you
all of these quality of players.
Yeah, it's not too much of a gap.
There isn't a gap. In lots of these cases, there isn't a gap. It's just because they're different leagues, so that you can't progress from one.
I think that you said it better than I said it.
Well, yeah, they're just different leagues. So there are players there who will not a case of they'll step up to it. No, they're already on that level.
Yeah,
and that would be great for UK basketball, because you're seeing that progression of I can start at grassroots and I can go right through to the BBL and I can be in a tournament. It's going to the football that you talked about with the FA Cup, where you can get some random knobby no-mates team. If they go through the right amount of hoops, all of a sudden they're playing Manchester United and you think, what?
I know we have American listeners, so for our American listeners, knobby no mates is basically you have no friends.
Yeah.
That's an English saying. Knobby no mates means you've got no friends. Yes, no, I agree, Mark. I think the challenge, and you said it on one of those previous shows, was BBL is a franchise, it's a thing, and
it's a product.
You know, do you want someone coming into that? But I think we have NBL teams that have the potential to make the jump into the BBL, but they want someone who can come up. They want someone who's got the financial stability that can do that. But
I would say this. I'd actually go as far as to say, if you were a player and you were considering going to the British Basketball League or going somewhere else, look at the games from this weekend, because that is what you'd be going into. And I think that's a really good indication. If you go, that's the quality of the players that you're seeing. Yes, someone can hit a big shot and a big bomb on one day or another, but that's the standard. It's good standard of basketball. It's exciting to watch. And if you're a fan and you're not sure what basketball's about, go put those games on and just watch them. And you'll think, I wouldn't mind going and see a live game. That is what the BBL games are like. It's a lot better standard than a lot of people might expect. So, yeah, I think the BBL has definitely come out of that as a winner.
Yeah. And look, Mark, the BBL trophy's over, but
congratulations to Cheshire Phenix.
Congratulations to Cheshire, and the championship's back this week.
Yes,
on Thursday.
It is. The championship is back. So tune in for next week, when we'll be kicking off back again with the championship. See if London Lions can retain the crown at the top, where they sit comfortably. I have been Mark this week.
I've been Paul.
And go back and listen to everything that we've done before, because if you haven't listened to all of the stuff, then that's not acceptable.
You're missing out.
You are missing out. What?
Yeah.
You are. You're missing out. 100%.